No, not we.
Yeah,
not
right,
we.
right, right. No, that's fine. That's fine.
It's a picnic.
You never know.
Oh yes, Will. You mean you haven't gotten your check in the mail?
No, I haven't.
I want to be in the middle.
Will's going to be in the middle because he's going to like.
Oh, my mom was telling her, because
Here I am, Holy Nation, Royal Priesthood. Come and get it.
boys.
Boys.
My mom.
Hi.
Say hi, everybody.
Hi.
Start again, just count it from 5 again, because he wasn't rolling.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Say hi, everybody.
Hi.
This is Will Berger, your roving reporter, and I have roved well out of my territory today, too. Where are we, Vinny?
North Plainfield, New Jersey.
North Plainfield, New Jersey. Are you fainting? And I am here with the cast and crew of the Gay Catholic Hour, some of whom you've seen before, and now we have some behind-the-scenes faces, too, we're going to talk to in a moment. And we are at the annual volunteer picnic that Dignity does every year. And it's funded by the Michael Oliveri Fund, and we're very grateful for that. Every year we do this. Last year was somewhere out in Long Island. This year is somewhere out in Jersey. Next year will probably be in Ishkabibble. What?
Who knows?
Who knows?
County.
Putnam County, your town, USA. We're coming to you. Of course, this is only in Manhattan, so enjoy the trees while you see them. And that there is a highway, okay? And every year at the volunteer picnic, we salute somebody extraordinary who has gone above and beyond the call of duty in volunteering for dignity. And this year, I'm practically fainting because the honoree is us. Yay! The cast and crew of the Gay Catholic Hour. I mean, I need hardly tell you any more arguments to convince you of the power of media in this day and age. You know, I've been stuffing envelopes for Dignity for 10 years, but I get on TV and all of a sudden I'm honored. But hey, no resentments there. Okay, and no paparazzi allowed. 1/8 honored, okay? And I'd like to start by introducing our executive producer. Now, you see his name every week. It's a very distinguished name, and it's Preston Pittman, who is an absolute hero at Dignity. He came in, yay! He came in kind of sideways. He was sort of picked up, you might say, and became a member of the Dignity community. Well, Preston did not shirk to the back row and just become one of those Dignity spouses we never hear from. He created the Gay Catholic Hour in about 10 minutes. And Preston, what on earth gave you the idea to do this?
Well, I had been watching public access cable for a while, and I saw that MCC had a show on, and one day it just occurred to me, why doesn't Dignity do something? We certainly have the talent and the manpower and the woman power to pull something together really good, and it seemed kind of absurd to be wasting this, and I thought really we needed to put something together that would speak to our own community and let members of our community know what other members were doing and volunteering for, and to show the greater lesbian and gay community at large what we at our Dignity community could do and the potential, and also to show Catholics, not gay or lesbian, watching public access exactly what we were about, and that we are in many ways like a parish and do a lot of the same.
Very like a parish.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. Now, has it been a lot of work?
It has been a lot of work. I think I can speak for myself, certainly, and Vinny. I think we put in about 40 hours a month.
We'll get to Vinny in a moment. Yes.
And then certainly we have Nick and John Dines here, who both are at every taping. They're volunteering whenever we need someone to carry lights, to carry cameras, to do all the legwork for us, to run out and buy a new videotape.
Oh, they're animals.
Battery.
They're animals. Yeah, we'll get to them in a moment.
They're the grunts.
But let's talk about you. Has it been worth it?
Definitely, definitely. It's great to see this flower and how this has developed over the year that we've been on Channel 34. And we've really got a good program going, I think, now, from modest beginnings we had a vision, and we get better every month.
I think that's true. From modestly brilliant beginnings to our current fame and fortune. And a lot of that credit must go to my dearest friend, Vinny Maniscalco. Now, this is another name. Yay! Yay! This is another name you see taking up the entire TV screen at the end of, yes, it's even longer than Chris Cappiello. And, but Vinny, how did you get roped into this?
I think Preston and I had known each other before, and when Preston sort of started talking about the idea, I had seen some of the shows on cable access TV, and thought that there's a lot of good programming on that highlights different parts of our community. And when we discussed doing something for Dignity, I thought immediately it was a great idea, because we know that there are so many people who, for whatever reason, they're homebound, or they're not able to openly serve like we're able to do.
Or they're couch potatoes.
Right, or both.
Love
and
ya. Yeah.
would love to see something like this. I know that years back I would have loved to have seen something like this before I was involved in Dignity, and did benefit from the earlier lesbian and gay programming that was on cable TV. And I think in terms of outreach, in terms of our own members who are involved in the chapter already, and who I think enjoy seeing our activities broadcast on TV, I think it's just wonderful effort on everyone's part, and I love being a part of it.
This isn't what you say after 3 days in the editing booth.
No, I say, when the hell is this going to be over? But,
And you're a professional editor, aren't you?
yes, as you know, I did work as a videotape editor for many years, and after changing careers, had been sort of out of practice for a while, but then when we came up with the show, it was a really good opportunity for me to use some of my experience and my talents in another area.
This man has seen more bar mitzvahs than any rabbi you've ever met. Now, let me start with you two, with Preston and Vinny as our creators, so to speak. What is your goal, tone-wise, for Gay Catholic Hour? Do you want us to be smart? Do you want us to be sexy? What do you like to see in the show, and what would you like to see more of?
All of the above.
Smart and sexy, and more community involvement.
Yeah.
People will complain to us sometimes, you have too much Irish stuff, or you have too much Italian stuff, or whatever. But
never too much Italian.
we want to have all of the community involved, and we rely on the community to come back to us with their special events,
Right.
and with their programs, so we can go there and tape it.
Okay, that's a good idea. So, in other words, we don't want to hear whinging about what we don't show on the show. We want to have you come to us and tell us what you'd like to see on the show. Up to a point. Okay,
Right.
Now we've got our, and we'll come back to you guys, and anyone pipe in when you want, but now we've got our behind-the-scenes animals who were referred to briefly, and we've got Nick Calamusa and John Dines. Now, let me just start here. These two, you cannot have any kind of a gay event without seeing these two somewhere, and they've been there for years and years. These are the kind of guys who, they don't draw a lot of attention to themselves, but they're there. These are two heroes of mine. So how on earth did you two get roped into this?
Well, I was asked, and it's been a real pleasure to work behind the scenes, and I long for a more visible role on
Well, you're getting your 15 minutes now, honey, so work it. Roll up your sleeves, start there.
But yeah, one day Preston just asked if I'd be interested in helping out, and I said sure, and I got roped into it, and it's been a lot of fun.
Okay, well, you said all the right things. Now we're going to ask John Dines the same question.
Well, they were looking for people to help hold things and carry things, and I can do that. So I said, yeah, okay, that's the only reason.
We like holding things.
Yeah, that's the only reason I got involved.
Do you like the show? Be honest.
Yeah, I think it's getting better. Yeah, I do like it.
Do you want more theology or more TNA?
What's TNA?
Tits and ass.
Oh, lots of tits and ass.
Good for you. Okay, now you already are familiar with our lovely and oh so presentable co-hosts. Chris Capiello and Kathy Carter. But now we're going to have a rare up-close and personal moment with them. Now, Kathy, we love you. Everybody loves you. You get fan mail. Are you an actor? And phone calls. Phone calls. And you know who you are out there. So come to Dignity and make yourself known. Come on.
She'd love to meet you.
Right.
Love to meet you.
Maybe. We'll see. Okay, Kathy, do you have any background as a broadcaster? There's a cheap joke in here, but I'm not going there.
I worked in radio for a while. I still record voiceovers. I was a DJ ages ago on Power 103 WPFR.
Really? I didn't know that. Are we allowed to say that? Well, she just did. Okay, I didn't know that. That's
They're off the air now.
Oh, okay, so we can say it.
Yeah. They folded. Shortly after they fired me, I'll add. So, you know.
Hear that,
We will
Preston?
not fire her.
Okay. Okay.
Really bad karma for them.
So you have a background in that, and what else leads you to your present position?
I'm adorable and stunning, and you guys asked me to do this, and it sounded like a fabulous idea. And, you know, anything for Dignity. Anything. Okay, next to anything.
Right. Okay. Careful what you say. Paul Halsell is here. Okay. And Chris, now you're a budding famous actor, matinee idol. What's your rap?
Sure, I've done loads of theater and a little bit of other TV stuff, and when Preston first said he was going to be putting this project together, and he was looking for people to help, I went up to him, introduced myself, said, well, you know, I'm an actor, I'm comfortable in front of the camera. If you tell me what to say, I'll say it. And the next week he was talking about, well, you'll be host of the show. Right. And I said, oh, okay, not quite what I had in mind.
But this being Dignity, there's always somebody there to tell you what to say, right?
Right. And there's also a co-presider at all times as well. So,
That's good. I like that. Yes. In the newest post-Vatican II tradition, we have co-presiders. You see that out there, ladies? Okay. And let me ask a few sort of personal things. Let me start with Kathy. Do you have a favorite moment from the show?
A favorite moment from the show.
And then Vinny can do a fabulous cutback or something.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. A favorite moment from the show. I don't know. I like most of them.
Right, anything that you're on. You're just like me.
yeah.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Vinny,
The New Year's
Can I
show
ask a question?
with the champagne.
The champagne was great. My favorite part of the whole show is working with Chris. Actually, not that you guys aren't fabulous. You're all fabulous.
I like
but,
to wear eyeglasses.
But I like wearing the glasses too. The props I love. But Chris and I never met until the very first taping of this show.
really? I didn't know
No,
that.
I had never
no
heard
idea who
his
she
name,
was.
had never seen his face until the very first show.
Well, why is that? Because you're usually stuck up in the choir loft with
Right.
the rest of us losers. Yeah.
And it's like you see the tops of people's heads from the choir loft, but you don't really get to know them necessarily. And we saw and we met on our first official set, wherever that was. I don't even remember
My
now.
house.
Your house.
That's right.
And we just had fun. We had a great time, and I think the chemistry between us is great. And
We were awfully polite that first show.
Yes.
we were.
Yeah, they were
Loosened
very.
up a lot.
Yeah.
They were very professional. Now they're like, back off. That's my line. What was your question, Vinny?
I want to know how Chris and Kathy like working with Sister Gracie.
Sister Gracie is a lot of fun. She gives me cramps in my hands and arms, but that's a whole other story.
What do you mean?
You should keep your hand out of her skirt.
You know, it's just so hard sometimes, pun intended. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, we love Sister Gracie. It's a shame the contract negotiations haven't worked out for her to continue to appear on the show, but we're hoping she will come back.
Okay.
I might
And-
add,
Yes.
we do not have Al Luongo with us here. Al Luongo is the creator of the Sister Gracie character, and he helped an awful lot in developing a lot of the dialogue and the setup that Chris and Kathy now do weekly. And he worked on our news programs for a while, writing up pertinent news. And he is busy today and can't be with us, but we do want to include him and thank him for all of his efforts on the show.
Yay, Al. And he's the one with all those who floors you with those theological facts that you can take back to your parish and shut your priest up. Okay, did
And the voice of Cardinal Mousinger.
yes, and the voice of Cardinal Mousinger. You heard it here first. Okay, now you know.
Just giving away everything.
That's right, all our dirty secrets.
We
Now,
should show some of the outtakes, Chris and Kathy outtakes.
I want to see a Gay Catholic Hour bloopers episode.
bloopers, really. I am one of those.
That would not be. It would not be a family show, unfortunately. Some of us
Okay.
have the mouths of sailors.
Right. And Vinny, did you have? What was the hardest thing we ever filmed, or you ever filmed? Shut up, Chris.
Most difficult?
Most difficult. They're trash. Okay, they're trash. Mom, turn this off. Don't watch this.
I think for me, it was very early on when we shot the dedication of the AIDS quilt, because for a few reasons. I mean, we had been working on the show for a few months by then and had been interviewing people making the quilt, people who worked really hard, and we saw what went into it, and we're anticipating the dedication, and we all knew what it was for, and we all realized that it was honoring a lot of the people we had loved that have passed, but when it actually came to do that mass, to cover that mass, it was just so incredibly sad, and I found it really hard to shoot the mass at the same time, and that's hard for a lot of people, I think, working on a show that you're very involved in the community, and trying to separate yourself. What are you? Are you?
We really can't
the
keep
event?
our
Are you part of it? It's hard to separate.
We really can't be the fourth estate all the time.
Right, and especially when it's something so moving as that. And so I'm sorry if the camera was jittery, but that was because I was in tears. And,
He was a mess.
I think
But
that's
I'm glad
true
we're
for
able
me
to
in a
show
way
it.
too, working on the AIDS quilt, and then when we went to Washington when the entire quilt was laid out on the mall, that was incredible. We covered that as well, and our own Dignity quilt joining that for the first time.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful and very moving and an incredible experience.
And I think for me, at least, that's true for the joyous moments that we cover, because I'm so excited about what's going on. It's Gay Pride, or we're having our special masses, and for me, one of the great things about being involved in Dignity is participating in these, and I have to sort of step back and now be the observer, and I'm willing to do that, and it's a great sacrifice to be able to put the show together.
Vinny, you shake on camera. How cute. I never noticed that before. You just like torturing me most of the time.
Yeah.
And what about the roadies? Did you have any moments that stand out, either as emotional, difficult, funny, bizarre, surreal?
Yeah, I think the coverage of Gay Pride is good. I think that's up, and I enjoyed those episodes that covered Gay Pride.
How about, but from working, what was the most fun, weird?
I think the time that I was sent out on Christopher Street to try to find 2 pins to hold up a drooping gay flag that was used as a background.
And he did.
And I did.
He came back from a drag queen, wasn't it? He gave you hair clips or something.
Absolutely.
We're very resourceful in the village. Even with our huge state-funded budget here at the Gay Catholic Hour, we occasionally
And you
have.
shall find.
Yes, that's right, or something like that.
And knock and it shall be open.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We don't take state funding, separation church and state.
That's right. Separation of church and state. What? Am I running out of film? But my cameraman is making funny noises at me. What? Cut. Cut. Okay, cut.
It's still rolling.
No, keep.
Oh, okay, all right. I just do what they tell me.
More work
We'll
for the
cut it
editor.
in the editing room.
Okay, yeah, this will be another moment on the floor of the editing room. Okay. How did? Oh, don't worry, darling. Don't worry.
Okay, well,
Yeah, nobody has asked you questions. Will.
Oh, you will. What about outdoor filming, guys? What were did we have any exciting moments with that besides Gay Pride?
I think when we did the Good Friday service, going down Christopher Street, I thought that was wonderful, because here we are, right down
on 7th Avenue.
right in the middle of the village, and
People actually looked
at
at us, and that's not
Yeah.
ezy to make happen in the village. Yeah.
and it's sort of the Pied Piper effect,
Right.
People joining us, and that's wonderful.
Rats.
And for a queer Catholic group A, to be doing that, and B, to be showing on television is just incredible.
Okay, let me ask you this: if there were some sort of miracle and somebody left us, the budget that 2020, say, has, what would you like to see on here? I mean, if there were no limit. I'm going to start with Preston, then I'm going to work my way around.
I'd love for us to immediately become a weekly show instead of a monthly show. That would be my first dream, and for us to have a real, honest-to-God studio to work in with lighting that we don't have to put up every time we're going to.
You wouldn't believe it by the chicness of our usual presentation, but we don't have a studio.
No, we don't. We tape in the Dignity office, the Chris and Kathy segments.
The Holy Office.
The Holy Office on Christopher Street, that's right. And we go in, we move the room entirely around, we put up lights, we put up sheets, and we turn it into a studio once a month.
Chris, any ideas? Just one thing that comes to mind that you'd like to see if we had, like, a Vatican-type budget?
A teleprompter.
A teleprompter? But what about Nick?
Amen.
Isn't Nick our teleprompter?
Line.
Kathy?
I know we appear incredibly spontaneous, but a lot of our repartee is sort of thought out ahead of time. So
Would you believe it? This is not all just spontaneous wit.
first.
You heard it here
in
first.
fact, it's one of the things that makes Will just amazing to me, that he just sits here
Truly.
and spews this stuff out with the
Truly.
microphone, absolutely spontaneously.
Right. Life is a script, you guys. Life is a script. Okay, now let's see. What else do we need to talk about here? Oh, what about any feedback from members of the community? I mean, now let's be honest. We're going to talk honestly here for a change. Dignity is a queer Catholic community. That means there are issues here, right? I mean, everybody's got an opinion. We can sing a hymn and have a nervous breakdown over that. I mean, that's what it's about here. It's contentious, and it's, in a way, it's supposed to be. So how have we fit into that? Have people been responding well to us within the community? Have they had issues? And tell the truth here, or make up something good.
The most controversial thing on our show has been Sister Gracie.
Really?
Yes, we introduced, it was Al's idea actually, to introduce Sister Gracie as a comic way of discussing real theology, because we didn't want to have someone stand and preach and hammer, and
Right.
we wanted to do it in a fun way that would be entertaining, yet to talk about serious theological issues. And immediately there were a lot of people, both men and women in the community, who felt that it was possibly degrading to nuns, but we've tried to give Sister Gracie...
Degrading? I think she's fabulous.
Yes, well, we've tried to give her a full personality. She's multidimensional. She's not just the conservative church. She also has a heart.
Right.
And she also she's very fond
An
of
activist history.
women's
Yeah,
issues.
women's issues.
And
She
the
teaches us a lot about women's issues. And God, do we need that?
Peace in the world. She's very concerned about peace in the world and the environment and the poor. She has some conservative issues about homosexuality, and she is very vocal about it. So we've used that as a sounding board, but we have had people say they were disturbed about it, that the whole boxing nun idea is denigrating to women and to nuns.
I understand there are some nuns who don't like the image of the boxing nun. Whether or not they've seen our use of that image on our show, I don't know, but I guess I could understand that just the image itself might be offensive to some people. But I think we've been able to use that, to turn that around, and to put it to good use. So.
Well, now that she's controversial, I like her more. Yes?
I was going to say, I think that the people who have the most problem with it are those who went to Catholic schools and have some issues being triggered there for them, and it has nothing to do with us necessarily.
I didn't go to Catholic school, did you?
I got kicked out of Catholic school.
Go, girl.
In kindergarten.
Can we hear this story? In kindergarten? Fierce. Tell all.
And I have not been back since.
Confessional TV is the thing. Come on, tell us.
It's a very tragic story. I was sitting there minding my own business, coloring, and some child took one of my crayons or something, and so I bit them, and they called my mother in.
And you drew blood.
We had a long talk about it, blah, blah, blah. They said it could never happen again. Fine. So the next day I was playing with blocks or whatever it is you play with when you're 5, and someone disturbed me again, and so I bit them and drew blood. After that, I was...
She did that in the choir one night, too.
You enjoyed it, though.
Woof.
But you were singing flat.
After that, I was escorted to the principal's office, and there was a big ruckus ensued, especially considering the fact that there have been several incidences with me in preschool. So it was.
We got a live one here. Okay, now actually I'm going to take this opportunity to find out who are the people who bring you the Gay Catholic Hour. First of all, Chris, where are you from?
I'm from the Bronx, New York, originally.
Really?
A native New Yorker, haven't strayed too far.
Good for you. You don't talk like you're from the Bronx.
Well, I can if you want.
That's all right. My mother's from the Bronx. I don't need it. John, where are you from?
I grew up in Seattle, but came here from Fort Lauderdale in '84.
84. Nick,
I'm from Passaic, New Jersey.
are you really?
Yes.
So all this looks normal to you?
Well, Passaic is a little bit more urban than this setting, but yes.
Okay. Preston, what's your story?
I am the child of an Irish Catholic and a French Huguenot marriage.
Yes.
From
Preston's
North Carolina.
our token Huguenot.
No, not really.
He's the chairman of our Huguenot outreach program. It hasn't
I am
exactly.
the chairman of our outreach program, but it's not specifically Huguenot.
No. That particular focus group didn't pan out the way we had hoped. Vinny,
There weren't many gay Huguenots in New York.
I'd like to see a gay Huguenot club. There would be, yeah, and if it would be anywhere, it would be in New York, yeah. Triple, quadruple. I thought we had issues. Oi, Vinny, where are you from?
Well, as you know, I'm originally from Manhattan and grew up in
Obviously,
Manhattan
right.
and Queens, and now, thank God, back in Manhattan. But say hello to my friends in Queens. But
That's right, they're
they're
not seeing you.
Yet.
Okay.
Well, that's one of the things we would like to see as the next step, is to have our show in more outlets, other boroughs, and
All over
maybe
the world.
in New Jersey. Yeah.
Rome.
Paris.
Yeah, right.
To reach as wide an audience as possible, because as we know, there are queer Catholics everywhere and could benefit from this show.
Now, do you all live in Manhattan now?
You didn't ask me where I was from.
Ohio, right?
No, Indianapolis, Indiana.
Indianapolis, Indiana. Okay. So we have a little bit of everything
Where are you
here.
from, Will?
I'm from Los Angeles, California. Can you tell? Oh yes, born on Sunset Boulevard. On it. Okay, true story, I'm told. Okay, now,
We
Tell us.
do you live in, no, later. Now, so we all live in Manhattan now?
I do.
Jackson Heights, Queens.
Good for you. We love Jackson Heights. Hi, Jackson Heights.
Manhattan.
Chelsea, say it. Say it.
Chelsea.
All right.
Upper West Side.
In Passaic, New Jersey, about 10 miles from Manhattan.
From womb to tomb.
Upper East Side.
Can you believe it? John Dines is our token Upper East Sider here. So he's the soul of the Upper East Side. Okay. Now, you had a request here, Vinny?
Yeah, can we take this opportunity to thank all our patient, significant others, spouses,
Yes,
boyfriends,
yes.
girlfriends?
We should interview them later. If any
We're
of them
going to
will come
try
on
to,
camera.
but all of our spouses are famous for disappearing
Yes,
when the camera
as they have
comes
right
in.
now.
Even though, even though mine had not one but two cable shows of his own, he will not be seen on this one. Issues, darling? Want to talk about it? Okay. But yes, we need to thank our patient spouses, roommates, all the people who put up with us as we go running away whenever the camera's on. Also, all of the people at various rallies and events that we have been to who have really treated us as if we were real journalists or something and really given us every consideration. Anyone else we need to thank? The Chelsea Gallery Diner. Love you, boys.
We should thank the steering committee of Dignity New York for giving us this volunteer award this year and endorsing and supporting the program and this television outreach that we do.
That was very Christian of you, Chris. That didn't even occur to me, and you're absolutely right. I can say as a veteran, perhaps survivor might be a better word, of the steering committee, it's very hard to agree on anything in the steering committee, and we've had nothing but support.
We've actually had an uncontentious year for the most part.
Oh, after I leave, huh?
Well, yes. But we want to thank Will, who was on the original steering committee that approved this project, which used to be called the Video Project. And
The Video
We got
Project,
over
right.
that very quickly.
The title,
People,
speaking of contentious issues, the title was a contentious issue
yes.
for people. The Gay Catholic Hour was very scary.
Oh, please, we almost had a 30 years war over it.
I thought it was still called a video project.
we stopped calling it the Video Project when members would come up to us and say, well, what video are you showing Saturday night? And no, it's not that kind of a video.
Cheap movies to dignity, right. Okay, let's...
You may evolve into that, however.
We'll consider that on the agenda, Nick. Okay, let's see. Anything else? Any personal messages to send out to the world here?
Yeah, all those folks who are not part of the Dignity community just now, but who tune in every month, let us know what you think. Call us, write us.
Leave a message.
tell
No
us-
X-rated, please.
Yeah.
Kathy's
Well,
over
mine
it.
can be.
Kathy's over the X-rated message.
I'm really over the X-rated messages.
Just sometimes.
But thank you for your viewership and support.
When we're in that glamorous studio shooting every month, we do wonder who's out there watching. So. Let us
Yeah,
know.
that we would like to know because I'm always talking at Vinny, see, and then I don't know who else is watching because he's behind the camera.
And I want to thank Tom McLaughlin, who donated the very first camcorder that we used for the show from the beginning, and congratulate him on being honored for this year's Gormley Award.
Oh yes, yay! I thought I voted for Richie for the Gormley Award for taking John. Okay, Nick, John, any other messages to your viewers out there?
No?
No? As in no is a complete sentence? No?
No? You?
I wanted to say that I think that the use of Sister Gracie is real appropriate in the gay community. I often thought that that there wouldn't be a shortage of nuns if the various religious orders would allow gay men to enter. And also, if one were to go down Christopher Street during Halloween time, there's plenty of potential Sister Gracies walking around.
Yes, and postgraduate Sister Gracies, yeah. Preston, you have any other thoughts for our fans, our whatever out there, the channel surfers?
I want to thank our community for supporting us.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of contributions. This was a dream that I had, and I never knew it would be realized to the degree that it has been. And I want to thank our community, all of you who are here today, and Al, who isn't here, for making this possible, and for our community members who give us their story ideas, who support us morally and through a lot of hard times. And our community for honoring us with this award, because sometimes we start to feel a little burned out after we've been putting in 20 hours in an editing studio. And,
Outdoor filming in the winter.
And yes, and so it's great to know
My
that
favorite
everyone
moment.
is behind us.
Yeah, I'd like to ask one last question. Now, Chris and Kathy get on camera. The rest of you guys don't generally. Do you ever get recognized?
At gay events, yeah.
Yeah.
Parties at Vinny's house all the time.
No, not so far.
Really?
But
I do.
You
And I
said
live
someone at
for
work
this.
saw you.
Oh, that was that
yeah.
was funny.
This
Tell us
really.
about-
Several people at work have stumbled upon the program in the late hours, and that's always interesting.
Do you want to
And
tell us
actually,
where you
there's a
work?
good story. Someone at work came up to me and said, very quietly, "Oh, I saw your show last night." And so I said, "Oh, you did? Okay." And I explained what it was: Gay Catholic Hour, Dignity New York, gay and lesbian, Roman Catholics. And the gay part was fine. That was no big deal. That rolled right off her back. But when I said this was a Roman Catholic organization, well,
Yeah.
she didn't know how to deal with that. So that was kind of ironic.
That's very interesting. That's something we've always tried to convince the diocese of, that we spend a lot more time justifying the word Catholic than justifying the word gay here. You watching out there?
Well, I think that's one of the other great things that the show is able to do. If we reach out to the broader lesbian and gay community, specifically non-Catholic, who don't always have the greatest idea of what it means, to be a Catholic, and we get a lot of anti-Catholic sentiment. And I think this gives them, I hope it gives them a better understanding of what we're doing as a community, and how we're helping to sort of bridge those
Right.
communities.
Don't you have friends who kind of give you a sort of furry eyeball when you tell them that you're in a Catholic organization?
Yeah.
Have you had that experience? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Whereas gay is sort of like,
Like, whatever.
Yeah, right,
It's
exactly.
Manhattan, of course you're gay.
So what do you think we might be putting out there that might be helping that already? What do you think we might, or what are we trying to? That we're stunning and sexy, as Kathy says? Or
I think we have there are a lot of closet Catholics, many more than closet gays, at least in Manhattan. And I think we're helping bring out the closet Catholic.
Right.
And I think we contribute to that.
It's what we keep hearing over and over again, or saying over and over again, that gay and lesbian people come in all colors, all classes, all religions, and we're a multidimensional people, a multidimensional community. We are not all gay Bob.
Right, that's right.
Or gay Jane.
Right. And that's true, and that part of the diversity includes Catholics. Some of us are Catholic. We have all different people here, people who violently disagree with church positions, people who agree. I don't think that point is ever made clear enough here.
I think one of the most important parts of our show is the very last moment where every month we say, be proud you're Catholic and be proud you're gay, together.
And I'd like to take this opportunity to put something into words that I think we hedge around in our literature. We're not about non-sexual. We promote loving relationships and your full commitment to your physical and sexual self as a Roman Catholic. I just don't think that can be repeated enough. And we hedge around it. Some of our literature is frankly a little closeted about that. So let me prove it to you right now. And he's not even my boyfriend. In fact, his boyfriend's behind the camera turning it off. Stop.
Wait a minute. Back on the job.
Okay, anything else we'd like to put out there, people?
Keep watching.
Keep watching.
And let us
We
know.
love you.
Let us see you next
Today, New York, tomorrow, the world.
Love that one. And on that note, this is Will Berger reporting from God knows where in New Jersey.
Until next time, be proud you're Catholic and be proud you're gay.
So long. We have a large part of music. We do a little thing that like calls it our music ministry at the end. And we can file that away or
somewhere, and maybe we have some stock footage of Toga.
You know, my problem is Miss Mac. She's going. That'll be an incentive. We can make you secretary. No. I just want to be an associate. Be me.
I never knew at that time.
Dog shots. Dog shots. Yeah.
He's going to say hi. Spanish or English, it's the same to us. ¿Te gusta hablar en español?
Un chiquito.
No.
Cayó.
And now?
No, en la casa. No.
Hey, you guys.
Hey, get over here. Get over here.
Uh-oh.
Hi, we're back with some really special people maybe you didn't expect to see here today. First of all, I'd like to say hi to Hector. Say hi.
Hello.
Hi, we're back here with some real special people. And Hector, let me start with you. Say hello.
Hello.
And Hector, where do you live?
I live in the Lower East Side of Manhattan.
Lower East Side of Manhattan. And could you introduce us to these friends of ours here? Tell us who they are, and then we'll talk to them.
This is my great nephew, Mohammed, and my daughter, Yvette.
Yvette and Mohammed. Okay. Mohammed, do you ever come to church with your great uncle?
Sometimes.
You do? Okay. What do you think of it?
It's fun.
Is it really? What's your favorite part?
When mass finish,
Right.
they always have cakes and stuff.
Me too. It's much the best part. Okay, and where do you live?
Bronx.
You live in the Bronx? Okay, are you born there?
No, I was born in Manhattan.
In Manhattan. Okay. And Yvette, right? And where do you live?
I live with my father in the Lower East Side of Manhattan.
In the Lower East Side. And were you born there?
No, I was born in Reading, Pennsylvania.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Where at?
In,
Somewhere in
I don't know.
Pennsylvania, right?
Yes.
Okay, and do you ever come to church?
Yes, I do. I come basically whenever he comes, but sometimes I don't.
Sometimes you don't? What would you rather do on a Sunday night than go to church? Be honest.
Nothing.
Anything. Okay. What's your favorite part?
Well, it's comfortable there. I mean, because you don't got to worry about guys hitting on you in church or anything.
You can say that again, yeah. Does that happen to you in other churches?
Yeah.
You pigs. Okay, so that's another good reason to come to Dignity. Okay, and do you sing when it's time to sing? Do you sing out?
Sometimes, not really.
Really? Don't you like singing?
Yeah, I do, but
It's a
I
good
don't
opportunity.
know.
A lot of people learn how to sing in church. You should join the choir. Do you ever sing, Mohammed?
No,
Never?
I don't know the words.
Okay, that's fair enough. Okay. We have parishioners who say the same thing. Okay. What else? Do you have a message for anybody out there? Anything you'd like to tell us? I know you do.
Always try to understand what they sing. That's it.
Okay.
In church.
Why? What do you think they're trying to tell you? What do you think is the message? What do you think?
When they sing,
Yeah.
some stuff about God.
Some stuff about God. Okay. Do you have anything to tell people out there?
yes, I think that they should just like people for who they are and get used to it because this is life and that's the way it's going to be. And it's going to get worse before it gets better, so they got to get used to the way it is.
Those are really wise words, Yvette. Now, you live on the Lower East Side of Manhattan, so you must know all different kinds of people, right?
Yes, I do.
And do you see problems with racism and prejudice a lot in your community?
Well, not a lot, but there's certain people who are like from like the old times, and they're very like, oh well, he's something, so ew, look at what he's wearing. They gotta get used to it because that's the way it is. It's the 90s.
And do you sense a lot of, are there a lot of problems for like young gay people in where you live? Do you know of any? Does that happen? Do people talk about it?
Well, I mean, sometimes there's shows or something, or sometimes people are joking around about it, and I'm used to it because, it's funny sometimes, but it's just that not all gay people are like that, and they're really nice, and guys, and some of my friends, they joke around, they're like, well, I don't want to be with gay people because they might go after me. I mean, it's just, they're gay, and you gotta get used to it. They're nice people.
Those are really nice words. Mohammed, what do you do when you're not in church? What do you do during the week?
Well, I go to school, I go home. Maybe I'll go upstairs to play.
What do you like to play?
Baseball.
Good for you. What else?
Well, basketball I don't play often.
Where do you go to school?
In the Bronx, Anthony Avenue and 28.
Public school?
Yes.
Do you like it?
Sort of.
Sort of. Haha. That was an honest answer. How about you, Yvette? What do you do when it's not Sundays?
Well, I do my homework, and whenever I have time, I go downstairs and I usually chat with my friends.
Do you have any hobbies? I know you don't like to sing, but...
No, I do like to sing,
Oh, you do?
but, I don't know, because I don't know most of the words sometimes. But, I mean, I love singing, and I play the B-flat clarinet.
Do you really? How many years have you played that?
2.
Wow, that's great. Now, do you prefer to sing in English or in Spanish? That's an important question.
It don't matter.
It doesn't, does it? I think Spanish is great to sing in. But anything you'd like to sing for the TV camera here?
No.
No, okay. Do I dare ask you, Mohammed, if you feel like singing anything?
I don't know.
Good, okay. Made it through that. Do you have anything you'd like to tell people out there who might be watching you on TV? Anything at all?
Never go to 22.
What's 22?
See, I think PES 22.
Oh, really? Are they bad people?
I don't know. I heard it's bad school.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good advice. Except most of our viewers are in Manhattan, but we'll keep that in mind. Anything else, Hector? Anything to add to your brilliant family here?
Well, you have to teach your family that because you're gay, it's nothing wrong. I think gay people are very lovable and they're very caring about their family.
Now, that must have been a long process for you to learn how to do that, or was it easy, or you tell me?
In the beginning it was hard, but then after a while I just opened up to my family and told them, and friends, whoever doesn't want my friendship is okay. But I think we're very good people and we have to teach them that that's the way it is.
How about gay people who might be considering having children? Do you have a message for them? Because there are a lot of people who are thinking about it, and we don't always know where to go or whom to ask.
I think it's very good to have kids around. I try to have my nephew quite weekends to enjoy myself with him, and my daughter. And it's not hard. It's good to be a parent.
Now, where are you from originally, Hector?
I was born in Puerto Rico and raised in the Lower East Side.
And within that, do you think people are maybe more supportive than other Americans about having families? I've heard people say that. What's your experience? Do you think, was your family supportive of you having children? Are they supportive now?
Yes, I would say more my sisters than my brothers in the beginning, but not anymore. Now they don't care.
So you are on good terms with your brothers and they're all part of your family?
We share everything together, and bad times and good times, and they know that I'm not what they thought in the beginning. Human.
If we don't teach them, how will they know? You know your aunts and uncles. How many do you have?
A lot.
A lot. And you have cousins your age?
Yes, but not very many.
Not very many? And do you have family get-togethers frequently, or at Christmas do you see your cousins, or when do you see them?
Basically on the holidays.
On the holidays? Everyone gets together, and about how many people would there be at, say, a typical holiday?
It depends because our family lives all over, so it's very hard for us to get together that often. So probably, I don't know, like 10, 15, maybe 20 people.
Last time was
40. Who does the cooking? All of you? Do you cook?
No.
No. Does your father cook?
Yes, I help out sometimes, but
Is he a good cook? Tell the truth.
yes.
Okay. What do you make for 40 people?
Well, we had a nice Thanksgiving. We cooked turkey. We cooked some chicken. We had some ham, lasagna. We had so much. It was a lot of leftover.
Just like any other family, right? Maybe better. Okay, well, here we are with Hector and his clan, part of the annual picnic for the Volunteer of the Year Award. Again, that was me, in case you've forgotten, and all of my friends on the Gay Catholic Hour. So coming to you from, where are we? Plainfield?
Plainfield.
North Plainfield, New Jersey, Will Berger, Gay Catholic Hour. Great.
So I guess I will be
My budget.
I'm unhappy with my happy pills around Waterbury. There's something to do with Waterbury. I can make it all the way from Bar Harbor to Waterbury without breaking into the small house of Uncle Thomas. Don't get me started. Leah. Who's Leah? I'm in the front seat. Yeah. The gestures to go.
You know what you're after. Can you do the hopping?
Oh, yes. The whole thing from beginning to end. Who's looking like Lovejoy?
You know, that's really good on stage.
Oh, it's brilliant. Well, that's what they were really smart in this revival, to just restage. But in the book, you know, when they do 10 songs, they show you the drawing. Oh, really?
Barbecue yesterday, we decided to put off the awarding of the award until tonight. So that is what we're going to do right now. This award is in the memory of Michael J. Oliveri, who was past president of Dignity New York, and it is funded by a fund in his name. So tonight we do award the Michael J. Oliveri Volunteer Award to all of the volunteers of the Gay Catholic Hour, and we are going to award to each of those volunteers tonight. And I will call each of your names, and if you would come up here to the front of the church. Nick Calamusa. Will Berger. Al Luongo. Kathy Carter. Chris Capiello. John Dines. Yeah. Vinny Maniscalco. Last but not least, our executive of the Gay Catholic Hour, Preston Pittman. Yeah. Preston Catholic Hour in all of its editing and cameraman and everything. Therapist. John Dines. Flunky. Camera crew and other tasks. Chris Cappiello, co-host. Kathy Carter, co-host. Al Luongo, research and script, who's not able to make it tonight. Will Berger, correspondence and script and other tasks. And Nick Calamuso is research and roadie. Okay. We'd like to thank all of you. As part of that award, each of you will receive a complimentary ticket to a Dignity Dignity Night Out at the theater, which can be redeemed any time that we have tickets available. So thank you.
In the immortal words of Father Don Becker, thank you.
Nick? Will? Al? Kathy? Chris? John? Minnie? Thank you very much.
Okay, let it roll in. Should put something of ours on there.
Yeah. This will fast forward more than that. Get some Francis Xavier. And we don't want this one. It's got enough exposure.
Do the other one, the one on the left at the same time. Faster. That's good.
On the way to where last Chris and Kathy take you.
I mean, you want to have stuff light in here.
There is. Why is it on manual focus? Did you?
I had it on manual last night.
Okay. It's all right. Yes?
Well, if it's on manual, then you have to check the focus.
Okay, when you can, walk back over to the console and fiddle with it. That's good.